All right, we are ready for lesson 46. We're going to be talking about something called conjunctions. And conjunctions are when you have this kind of a problem or inequality here, and you have x maybe between a range of numbers or outside of a range of numbers. And hopefully when you see this, that will make a little bit more sense, okay? So we have -5 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so they're going to tell you to draw a number line and graph this solution. So I am on practice question A on page 186. Again, this is lesson 46 in Algebra 1. Okay, so what you want to do first is look on the left-hand side, okay, and then just pretend that this part over here isn't involved at all, okay? So this is -5 is less than x, or x is greater than -5. So let's find our -5, draw that circle that we know that we're supposed to draw, and x is going to be bigger than that. So let's draw this line just a little bit this way, okay? We're not going to go very far because there's another part over here that says something else. It says x is less than or equal to 4. Well, hold on. Now I got to go over here to 4. I got to put another circle, and I got to color it in because it says it's equal to 4. So our x is equal to 4, but it's also less than 4. So now we've got another line going this way. And where they meet, if they meet and cross, then suddenly you have this set of numbers where x can fall. X can be greater than -5, but it can't be bigger than 4. X can be equal to 4 or less than 4, but it can't be any smaller than -5. It has to fit between these two numbers, including 4. That's why we have the circle there. That's that equal sign, but not including -5. Okay, so that's what a conjunction looks like on a number line. Okay, so we've got another example here of a conjunction of -7 is less than x less than -2. Okay, so I'm going to draw a circle on -7, and I'm going to draw one on -2, and I'm going to leave them open because neither one is equal to the other one. So I'm going to ignore this part over here, and I'm going to say, okay, well, it says that x is greater than -7. So my line is going to start going this way. Okay, and then I'm going to jump over here, ignore this 7 over here, and say x is less than -2. Okay, so now I'm going to start at -2, and I'm going to start going less. Okay, so here is our subset of numbers. Okay, x is going to be between -7 and -2, but it cannot equal either of those numbers. It can equal -6.99999. It can equal -2.111111, but it cannot equal -2. It can't equal -7. It's going to be in between this range. So there is another example on how to graph a conjunction. Not too bad. You just follow what it says up here, break it down in each little piece. Don't forget to fill in your circles if there's an equal sign, and realize that usually it's a range, so you have a beginning and you have an end, and it's all the numbers in between. All right, so in lesson 46, you're going to have questions where they're going to give you a number line. They're going to have a graphed conjunction, and they're going to say, hey, what does this conjunction mean? How do you write that down? Okay, so to explain how to do this, we want to look at the numbers that have the circles, okay? So, for example, we've got a -3 and we've got a +2, okay? And remember, a lot of the times we have this x in the middle. Okay, so let's just focus on the -3 and the x and the relationship. First of all, is this an open circle? Yes, that means there's going to be no equal sign there, okay? The arrow or the line here, this orange line, is going to the right, which means it's positive. So x has to be bigger than negative 3, but not equal to, okay? So let's look at the other half over here, the 2. The 2 has the circle colored in. That means that it's equal to 2. X can equal 2. So I put the little half of an equal sign there. And then it has to be less than, because the line is going to the left side. So X is less than or equal to 2. So it's between negative 3 and positive 2, not including negative 3, but can include positive 2. Okay, final example question from this lesson is going to be letter D, page 186. We just finished letter C in the last problem that we worked through. It says write a conjunction that designates the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 2. So we have X here in the middle, and then we have negative 2 as our smaller number. You'll see that as we read the rest of this, okay? So it says, write a conjunction that designates the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 2 and less than 5. So our numbers are negative 2 and 5, okay? And it says that these numbers are going to be greater than, so our X is going to be greater than or equal to, X is greater than or equal to negative 2, and less than, X is going to be less than 5. So this is what your conjunction would look like based on the information that they give you in letter D.